So, Facebook family, I'm not used to going live, so bear with me. I'm not a pro like Shakir or many of the others. But I needed a venting session tonight and kind of felt like some of the things I was thinking about might just be helpful to others. So I wanted to share a little bit about what's been going on. I spent the better part of the last couple of weeks helping some of the MDC victims, abuse victims, and it's been truly heartbreaking. There's 2 that are still at UNM Hospital. One young lady was taken to MDC went from MDC last week to UNM Hospital, and she was in the ICU. She was nearly dead. Her family indicated that she even died for about 45 minutes. We're trying to help her family, but we still don't even know what happened to her. Only that when she got to UNM, she had blood coming out of her ears and her body was bruised all over. MDC discharged her the day after the hospital admitted her and have kind of washed their hands of her. And today when I was talking to MDC about her case and her situation and asking them for a public records request, they basically told me that they had no record that she had even been incarcerated with them, even though they're the ones of record who transported her to the hospital. Another one is a gentleman who, BCSO, broke his collarbone during his arrest on October 1st. And he complained repeatedly to medical at MDC, telling him that he was in pain and he needed help. And they wouldn't help him for 2 months until he developed staph infection so severely that he was almost passing out from the fever that he was suffering from. And then December 1st, finally, after 2 months, he was transported to UNM and taken into emergency surgery, where they removed a rib, half of his sternum, and half of his collarbone. We still don't know the severity of the surgeries or the injuries because MDC is hiding behind HIPAA laws and preventing his mother, who's heartbroken and doesn't know what's going on with her son, preventing her from even finding out what hospital room he's in or what surgeries have been done or how severely he's injured. When I talked to the PIO at MDC, she told me that MDC does not have to tell family when their loved one is in the hospital or suffering a medical condition, that their policy states that they only have to notify family if there's a death or if a person is in the ICU on life support. So this is what we've been dealing with. Shout out to Susie, who's been working so hard also to track down victims. To Justin Allen, who's been working hard fighting in this justice system. And so many. There's so many. I could go on and on and on naming people. But today I just felt emotionally drained, which leads me to the purpose of this video. And something that was said to me by the mother of one of the MDC victims. And it was kind of this statement of an us versus them. And it was so striking because it really is the state of our country right now. And for those who aren't familiar with me, I've spent the better part of the last 20 years trying to run away from my past. And I don't talk about it very much. But I was a mom at 16, just barely 16. I was pregnant at 15. I grew up in the streets. I sold dope. I did everything that you do when you grow up in the streets. I've had friends die. I've held friends who died. I've watched friends die. As a teen, I went to so many funerals that I had a ritual for the mother where I would take her one single red rose because I always thought that I wouldn't make it to 21, and I hoped that somebody would do that for my mom. And I broke my mom's heart because of the things that I did as a child. And I was young and I was dumb and I was running away from lots of abuse, and I don't really know why we do the things that we do. But I wouldn't trade it because it made me who I am. And I don't share it that often because mostly I've been embarrassed about a lot of the things that I did. I was an 8th grade dropout. And I've mostly self-educated. And throughout these years, I'm non-degreed. So I've been all the way at the lowest of the low, but I've also been a human resource manager, and I work for a very well-known law office. And despite all the things that I was told all my life, I know I'm not stupid. And I know that I can go out and do anything that I will do that I set my mind to because I've done it. I'm a mother of 6 excellent, beautiful, perfect children. But the reason that I'm talking about that is because that's what makes me the us. And my life working in municipal government as an HR manager, working with the mayors and governors and all of the power sources in our state, and having to work on things on that level, and working at the law office and talking to clients that come from prestigious backgrounds and being able to interact with them as a professional is sometimes I'm the them. And so let me get down to what this woman said to me. So she's this Chicana lady that is older with 3 sons, and 2 of her sons are heroin addicts. And she cleans houses for a living, and she's an us. And I was talking with her, and she's very afraid of what her son is going through or has gone through at MDC. And she said to me, Mija, oh my God, you're just like us, but you work here at the law office. How did you get this job? Because you're just like us. And when she said that to me, all I could think about was the us and how divided we truly are, and how there's not even this expectation that the us could go out and do those things. And many of us do every day. A lot of us wear many hats in our lives. But I think that is so important right now in light of a Donald Trump presidency, in light of all of the activism that's been going on and the awakening of the people, and also so many of us who feel powerless and beat down by all the things that are happening, by being victimized by substance abuse in the criminal justice system, and poverty and violence and addictions. There's just so many things that we battle. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the us versus them, because unless or until we try to start fixing this divide that we have, the us are going to continue to be murdered on video by law enforcement who don't care about us. And as long as they don't know us, they don't have to care about us. And we'll continue to be victims of violence. We'll continue to be caught up in the criminal justice system that's eating us alive. I watch PV cases, people that are going to a probation violation hearing on a charge of not reporting or not breaking curfew or not completing counseling. And judges in PV court are giving people all of their suspended time right now. It is a cold, awful, awful place. If people are not familiar with just how bad the criminal justice system is, spend 1 hour sitting in PV court with the pro tem judge in district court, and you will see firsthand just how cold the system is. There's people that are getting 16 years on a technical violation. Many of you know Black. Today we found out that they're asking for 7 to 14. And I cried about it today, and it was more, not so much because I'll miss him as my friend in my life and being able to talk to him, but mostly because there's real people in this world, and many of you know them. Many of them are the us's, who from birth never have a shot. Never had a shot. Ever. Never a chance. Kids who immediately are put in the foster care system, or kids that are part of the school to prison pipeline, where they are on probation at 9 and 10 and 11 years old, and most never ever leave the system. Never. And it's heartbreaking because the system is eating them alive. And most of them will not survive. They're not going to survive more rounds of Department of Corrections. Some of them may not even survive MDC at the rate we're going right now with all of these abuse victims that are coming forward. They may not even make it to DOC. And so today I had a really, really heavy heart because of just so many injustices. There's just so many. And my challenge to anybody who ever gets to see this video is know your neighbors, stand strong together. We have to mend this us versus them, because we're allowing the thems to have all of the power over us. It's time for us to take back what little bits of freedom that we know and demand more. And I plan to work so hard over these next years, like we always have been. I guess I think I've been an activist for all of my life. I don't know. But I feel like there's a need to do more. And this video is mostly about venting out the heavy heart that I have right now. And the hope that more are awakening and that we can help each other. I feel like especially us, the people of color, lately have become so about me. I got me. I mean, how many times on your news feed every day do you see that I got me, I'm about me, I can't trust nobody, ain't nobody gonna hold me down like me? We have to stop that selfish attitude. We have to start being about the us, the community, coming together. I'm calling on all my people of color, from all my cholos out there that I grew up with in the valley that I've always known, to all my niggas, all my people. And I just think it's so important right now, especially now, because we are under attack, people. We are under attack. People of color and the poor are under attack. And we need to stand together. We got to stop this. It's just, I'm out here to get money. Fuck what y'all doing. We got to stop. We got to stop. We got to come together. It's time. The time is now. We need to get back to the philosophies of the Black Panther Party and the Brown Berets. It's time. We got to start looking out for each other. Because our people, us, we, the us, we are being murdered and assaulted and abused every single day. And we have to stand up for each other. We cannot just be about, it's just about me and I'm out here to get my money. We have to end that. We got to teach our children better. We got to do better. We got to do better by each other. So that's the us versus them that I wanted to talk about tonight. People of color, poor people, abused people. There's so many of us, the us, who feel voiceless, who feel so beat down that we can't find a way to make it out of this, but we have to. We have to, and we have many, many times over, many generations over. We can do this. We have to stop being selfish. Poor people, people of color, we must unite, and we must fight, and we must start looking out for each other. It's time. The time is now. Thanks for anybody who listens to this. And I welcome any comments, any feedback, any ideas that you have, because we really got to start planning and forming strategy with each other. The time is now. Thanks. Peace.